Hello, my name is Chloe Tonis, and thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Bite Size Cybercrime, the podcast where we discuss all things cybersecurity in the news. This week we have a somewhat unusual story, but it starts like most of the cybersecurity news stories you see today. An organization is infected with ransomware, hackers threaten to leak the data if not paid, but this week the ransomware group ALPHV, sometimes known as Black Cat, did something no ransomware group has admitted to doing before, reporting their victims to the Securities and Exchange Commission for not disclosing a data breach. This sounds really unusual, but there's a lot to talk about, so let's just get right into it. On November 7th, 2023, the ALPHV ransomware group breached the network of a publicly traded software company, Meridian Link, and unlike most ransomware groups, they simply stole the data rather than fully encrypting the systems Meridian Link was using, causing minimal disruption to their operations. Typically, ransomware groups are called that because they deploy malware called ransomware, which encrypts files or systems, making them inaccessible to the owner of those files or systems. Then the group demands a payment in exchange for a key to unlock those files. Many ransomware groups will also exfiltrate that data, and if the company's not interested in paying up because they have backups, they'll threaten to leak it as a method of double extortion. Instead, ALPHV simply informed Meridian Link that they had stolen the data and demanded a payment to not leak said data online, to which the software company did not send any messages back to negotiate a payment. This lack of response prompted a rather unusual move. ALPHV decided to report Meridian Link to the SEC and included screenshots of the complaint and the automated SEC response to their extortion website. The attackers alleged that Meridian Link failed to disclose a cybersecurity incident that impacted customer data and operational information. The attackers told the SEC that they had suffered a significant breach and failed to disclose it as required in Form 8K under Item 1.05. Meridian Link did confirm a cyber attack, but is currently investigating the incident. So far, they've not confirmed whether personal customer data was impacted, and they claim the breach had a minimal impact on their operations. So, why exactly did ALPHV do this? Did Meridian Link do anything wrong by not reporting the breach? The SEC recently adopted a new rule after many cyber incidents in the United States that require publicly traded companies to report cyber attacks that have a material impact, which means they influence investment decisions. The rule states that these such incidents must be reported in 4 business days, which leaves cybersecurity techs a small window to discover and fully investigate a breach to determine the damages done and the data impacted. The only problem with this genius move by ALPHV is that the rule does not take effect until December 15th, 2023, so it's likely that absolutely nothing will come out of this specific complaint. However, it does leave us with very interesting questions. Weaponizing a regulator as another form of extortion. How will the SEC respond to this incident? Are they going to go forward with the new rule, backtrack, or modify it in some way to deter this? It's good that companies are required to report cybersecurity incidents impacting customer data. People have a right to know if their data has been handled without authorization and may be somewhere on the dark web for sale. But it also puts organizations in a tough spot. Confirming breaches can take a lot of time and research to investigate. And adding fees from regulators on top of lost revenue on top of ransom payments would make ransomware a bigger and badder incident to deal with and cause headaches in even more departments. Another question I have is, why did ALPHV do this before the rule actually goes into effect? Did they just forget the rule wasn't in effect yet? Is this kind of some warning that this should be expected from their group in the future? I'm inclined to believe that this is a warning that we will see this after the rule is implemented a lot more. But it'll be interesting to see if this trend continues and how it's handled by both organizations and regulators like the SEC. Organizations may have to take this possibility into consideration in their incident response plans. I could even see attackers adding a filled-out K8 to their services offered, so the breach can be reported to the SEC within 4 days. It may sound silly, but so does a group of criminals reporting their victims for failure to comply, so who knows what they'll come up with. Let me know what you think about this case, and thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Bite-Sized Cybercrime, and another thanks to Bleeping Computer, Security Week, Tech Radar, CS Online, and Info Security Magazine for reporting on this rather unusual incident. And until next time, stay secure.